Dear learners, welcome to the session Lesson Planning. Learning objective of this session is to understand essential components of lesson plan. After completing this session, the learner will be able to construct the lesson plans incorporating objective-based teaching. Now let us see what is lesson planning. Teaching is organized in three phases, that is pre-active, interactive and post-active phase of teaching. Before entering into the class, whatever activities a teacher plans may be put in a pre-active phase of teaching. The lesson planning is virtually a pre-active phases of teaching. A teacher's detailed description of the course of instruction for an individual lesson is a definition given by Wikipedia. And according to educational dictionaries, a lesson plan is a written guide for trainers' plans in order to achieve the intended learning outcomes. It provides specific definition and direction on learning objectives, equipments, instructional media, material requirements, and conduct of the training. Now, what is the need for lesson planning? So, careful lesson planning is the foundation of all teaching. It performs some specific functions. That is, it forces consideration of goals and objectives, the selection of subject matter, the selection of procedure, the planning of activities, and the planning of evaluation devices. It keeps the teacher on the track. It helps the teacher in effective teaching. It prevents waste of time and teaching skills also. It can ensure that teachers do not forget a vital point. It serves as a check on unplanned curriculum. So this is the need for lesson planning. Now what are the principles of lesson planning? The teacher should prepare a careful but flexible plan. He should be so secure in the plan that he should be free to change it as the developing lesson plan and the needs of children require. The plan is used to be as a guide rather than as a rule of a thumb to be followed blindly. The teacher should have a courage to deviate from it when the needs of his children demand. Next principle is that the teacher must have mastery of and adequate training in the topic from which the subject matter has been selected for a certain lesson. The teacher must keep abreast with new methods and techniques of teaching history. A teacher must know his pupils thoroughly and organize the materials in a psychological rather than merely a logical fashion. He must understand his pupils' traits and interests in order to know how to provide them. The teacher must ensure active pupil participation also. And the work during a lesson should be varied also. Now let us see the steps in lesson planning. The first is formulation of educational objectives. So as the teacher sit at this desk planning a lesson, we should first ask ourselves, like, is this lesson primarily one of the attitudes, skills, concepts or knowledge? Or which domain are we catering to? Is it cognitive, affective or psychomotor? So first we need to formulate the objective of that lesson. After that, selection and organization of the content. So here we need to ask ourselves that what type of content should we select to enable the learner to achieve the intended objectives. How can a teacher use the present knowledge of the pupils to make the lesson meaningful and interesting to the pupils? So important task here is we are selecting and organizing the content in this step. After this is the motivation of preparation. Under this, the word motivation is used in two different ways. Motivation as a broad approach to teaching. In this sense, motivation includes all that we know about learning. It is something that is going on all through the period. It comes from the teacher's use of his voice, good questioning, by relating the past to the present, and from many other sources. Next is motivations as a means of getting a lesson underway. So, in this sense, motivation means ways of getting a lesson started, getting a lesson off the ground, so to say. Like he can motivate the pupil for the new lesson by the use of objects, by opening with a starting statement or question. We can also use sociodrama. We can start a lesson by posing a problem. We can also start it by using a film strip or films, or we can write it down something on the blackboard also. So there are various ways to start the lesson. Next is students' activity and teacher's role. So the next step in this is that there should be a fair distribution of time between students and teachers' activities, fairly distributed over the whole of the class. The teacher can keep his pupils active by frequent questions. The pupils can also be encouraged to ask questions also. It means the method should be interactive. Both the teacher and the taught should be active at this phase. As far as possible, the pupils should be active participants in this learning process. From time to time, it is helpful to keep a record of pupil participation also. So this is there in this step of lesson planning. After this, the next is recapitulation and assignment. So a lesson without recapitulation is incomplete. Its principal purpose is to make the presentation more effective. It helps the pupils to come some conclusion with reference to the wider significance of the problem. It is an attempt in which children ask the problems if in case they have any issues, and teachers recapitulate the whole work. The pupils here learn how to express themselves and to produce the material learned in the class. And if we talk about assignments here, so assignment from the topics covered in that particular lesson is given to the students. Let the pupils do some exercise in the form of answers to some questions, maybe objective type or essay type. Ask them to draw the map or anything, whatever a teacher feels like. Or maybe you can ask them to write something about the great leaders, saints, or you prepare a scrapbook. So this is what happens in this step of lesson planning. Under recapitulation and assignment, we recapitulate and then we give some assignment also to the learners. The last step in the lesson planning is evaluating a lesson. So after a lesson is completed, it is always advisable to evaluate the lesson which a teacher has prepared. So as a teacher, you should always evaluate the lesson plan. So teacher can do it by asking some questions by themselves. Okay, was the motivation effect? Were the aims or objectives which were set has been clarified or achieved? Did I use some effective audiovisual aid, or do I need to change the methods in which I have taken this lesson? Was I able to satisfy and challenge the superior students? Was I able to involve the slower and quieter students also? So did I repeat the important points also? So these are the type of questions which a teacher should always evaluate after delivering a lesson. So I hope you understood the various steps which are there in lesson planning. So formulation of educational objectives, then selection and organization of content. After that is motivation of preparation is there. Then we will talk about students' activity and teachers' role. Then after that is recapitulation and assignment. And the most important part is evaluating a lesson plan. So these were the steps in lesson planning. Thank you very much.